So I'm streaming, but I'm also really recording a video. I'm going to give you some newbie tips. Now, the thing is, it's not tips for newbies. It's a newbie giving tips. So take this with a grain of salt. But let me show you what we're going to be discussing. We'll be discussing Catpals, phantoms, and cards. That's the main thing. And I guess a little bit of homestead and wardrobe stuff that you can do to really finesse your way through. Real quick about abilities. That's something that we can talk about quickly. Some laydowns. So for reputation, there are 3 stages to reputation gain. There is a 100% penalty. That means no penalty. Then after you hit 4,000, you get a 30% penalty. And this lasts until 4,450. And you will have 30% of your work actually count towards your reputation. That means you're going to have to make a lot more as compared to before. I recommend you stop at when you hit 4,450 because after that point, you're going to be dealing with a lot of cooking. Terrible idea to cook 6,000 dishes just to get equivalent of someone else. I mean, if you're really sweaty and you have all day, go for it, but not really the idea. Another thing to note is that the I right here, daily expertise limit, you get 150. I'm at this stage where my stats and dishes are. So what does that mean? That means if I go to learn, I'm going to go to 13. This is going to start at 0 star. I'm going to spend my first 150 points right off the bat here. I'm going to try to get this to purple. And maybe you have multiple purple. If that's the case and you have multiple purple, it's actually better to have a few things gold and some blue as opposed to having everything purple or everything slowly growing together. You kind of want to snipe the dishes and max that out as soon as possible. And when people look at your dishes, you're like, whoa, I've never had a gold dish before. It's really cool. It's a lot of wow factor. And that's for Chef. I'm assuming that's the case for the other 2. Let's talk about Catpals next. Just going down the list, I guess. Catpals. This is my lineup. One of the coolest things you can do here is reset. So you're able to reset. Already deployed. You're going to get everything back. Everything. So it's always good to max out your uses for your fish jellies and your other fishes, I guess. So then you can go ahead and upgrade that all the way to the max. Now, one thing to note is that since you can fully refund it, it means that these are really valuable. These will stack on and they will never go away. They're more of a permanent resource. Same goes for these guys. Things like mana stones, they're really important. They're really important, but they expire. They go less and less and less. So if you want to rush through the game and you want to get high gear score and you want to stay that way, the number one thing that you want to do is get these fish jellies. These stat points are more effective than getting stats from these mana crystals. All right, so lineup. Now, if you read down here, 100% of the main Catpals from your lineup stay. 30% come from the assistants, which means that you always want to have this lineup maxed out. Who cares about these guys? With the exception of a red Catpal. So if you want to do something fancy up here with, 2 golds, a mummy, and maybe on Myoji, or for arena, this guy is great. He can stun. Awesome. Then that's okay. Then you can go ahead and move this guy down here. You still want to have 100% of your upgrades up to here. Who cares about everybody else? So I can't upgrade anymore. Now, as soon as you can, what you want to do is you want to fully reset everything here and fully focus on these guys. The stat points from these guys are so small as compared to your lineup. Now, the other thing I would do is that you would choose your stats that are pretty nice. So for a healer, morale is the best. Later on, your skills will actually scale with morale. But the cool thing is that wisdom also helps with magic attack. It's a very good secondary stat point to focus on. So when you look at these Catpals, you're like, okay, well, which one's my favorite? You're going to choose wisdom and morale. Wisdom and morale. Except for red Catpals. Why? Because they are so powerful. Like, their lowest value is going to be higher than your highest value. Well, I guess this one. Then this guy. So if this guy was 80, it's a 3-star. This is a 2-star. This guy is way better. The other cool thing is if you look at the bonuses, you get a shield So the bamboo is really nice. Like, the skills you get are pretty strong. They're even just for that, you might want to just consider foregoing the stat points just for the skill sets. So that covers about it. There's one more thing I want to mention about Catpals. When you go to, let's see, the lineup. Here's our lineup. We get a certain amount of blues, we get a certain amount of purples, yellows. If you want the stat points correlated exactly to what you want, what I would recommend is you choose, say, all the purple ones that are wisdom and morale, and you level them up to level 10. Why level 10? It's because you never use a fish jelly. Fish jelly is valuable. Maybe you want to do one for only one, but I'd rather do it here, right? So I can do that. I can do that. Cool. And I can reset it whenever. I think these guys give more stat points than these purples, but I highly recommend just leveling them to 10. It's very cheap to get a few more stat points on the specific stats that you want. So to check which one is the highest, you just look at these values. Doesn't matter what level. You see what the highest value is, and you're like, okay, this is guy will give me mostly morale. We'll go ahead and put our points there. So that covers about Catpals. Let's go to cards. Now, cards are interesting. Why? Because they're really expensive, but they can also be very cheap if you do it wisely. So I made the mistake of trying to refine this guy 20 million times, and I can't get him any higher. I try to get him to plus 10. Don't worry about that. The best thing you can do is to get these bonus effects, the full set of enhanced effects. Those are really nice. The other thing is, don't be afraid to upgrade right away. I know I just said, hey, look, go upgrade stuff right now. No, don't feel bad to upgrade right away, because this one's a healing thing. I know I'm going to be healing, but I also know that this is much, much better. Okay, well, then what do I do? Well, you go ahead and remove this and you replace it with this when you need to. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and keep the healing one. So then, while I'm getting my cards, I can go ahead and upgrade this to all plus 10. As soon as I can go ahead and roll out the full 10 stack effect. It's really nice. And you can have multiple cards and keep them around. This guy is a redundant, so what you can do is dismantle that. Cool thing that you can do, pop. Always, who cares about blues and purples? In the beginning, you kind of need to use them. Later on, you don't need them at all. It's a no-brainer. It's free mana stone. Then you go and individually figure out, okay, which ones do I want to keep here? In this case, I actually don't want to keep this guy, because I already have 4. You don't need anything more than 4. They're all the same. Alright, so that's kind of it for cards. Let's go to Homestead real quick. Let's talk about a little bit about the wardrobe stuff, how to level tailoring up quickly, what are resources more important, all that stuff. So as you can see, my Homestead, I don't really care too much for it. Some people might have more of an expertise. I don't. So you end up unlocking these 3 things. Okay, these 3 things are important. Which one do you do? They're the same stuff. Okay, not quite. This takes 20 minutes. This takes 8 hours. Okay, now the number 1 resource that you get is these cottons that you see over here. The cottons are nice. If you have a lot, do what I'm doing right here. Use the 20. You get 1 experience way faster than you would getting 2 experience. However, if you're running low on the cotton, switch to this guy. And I've always found myself to be always running low on the purple fabric. So then actually what I do is I always do this one. This one has a medium chance. And the cool thing is that, hey, look, this takes 10 and 16 and I get 30. Okay. I go here, it's 5 and 8, half as much, but you get 6 times less than what you would get for using the 6-hour variation. So if you're running low, this is what you do. Now, one other thing to figure out is this one has a big chance of getting a recipe. This one has a guaranteed chance of getting a recipe, but here's the catch. It takes a lot of silk. So do the math. I personally think you get more from the 10-minute ones than the 3-hour ones. You get more recipes. The nice thing of getting the recipes right away is that you can go ahead and make the recipe and then dismantle it or give it to somebody. Dismantling gives you some of the recipes back, but it will always level your Tailor up, and that's what you really want. You can level up that sooner the better. Alright, so that covers that. The last one, and the longest one, and not so important, is the Phantom. I like it though. So, I don't have very good Phantom luck. I haven't been able to evolve these very much, but I'll tell you something nice to know. Your goal, I'm going to fully reset this. I'm going to start off the process, but your goal is to hit the end. 9 stat points. The beginning, when you fully reset it, the beginning, so you can fully reset for free. I guess not really for free. It's these leaves, which are, you'll never run out. You're fine with this. You can keep spending these. You reset them fully, and you end up getting 5 stat points at the beginning. So you actually don't want to play in the earlier levels. You only want to play at the later levels. Now, the other thing is you want to set up really nicely for the later levels. So you still have to spend up to getting that point. Okay, well, how do we make the most out of it? So that was an agility stat. That gives me physical attack. It gives me accuracy. That's nice. It's not bad. Don't throw them away. But in this case, I want to maximize my returns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit these corners, which explore or unlock the most unknown materials, the most efficient way of doing it. I'm going to get to floor 3, and you get to reset again. Right, so you want to do that. You want to keep doing that until you get a morale or a wisdom stat. Right, and you keep doing that. It'll cost 10,000 every time, whatever. Okay, perfect. And, okay, so let's say we didn't get this green one. I would have had to redone the process because it would have took us 2 stimulants to get where we need to, and we only want to use 1, just enough to move on. Now, guess what? When I hit this green, guess how much stimulants it uses? It uses 1. Okay. No. It gives you 3. That's the catch. It doesn't actually use up anything. Nice. Okay, so I messed up here. I got unlucky. Terrible. Okay, you can go ahead and hit the back floor panel once and just keep resetting this. And you keep doing that until you get this. Oh, I got unlucky. Alright. Unlucky. In fact, I don't know why I clicked that. Unlucky. And you keep repeating this until you get the morale. The reason why you don't... You can do it for wisdom, but the reason why you want to do it for morale is because you have a higher cap. So later on, you're going to be worried about this cap. But if you want to set yourself up properly, this is what you do. And you keep repeating this until you hit... you keep repeating this until you hit the next floor. And it's actually... How you're seeing it right now is how I did it. You don't have to do this. You might be like, it's just 1 stimulant. Who cares about 1 stimulant? Fair enough. If you don't want to put the effort in, no worries. It really is negligible, but it is to get... If your question is, how do I get the most out of my Phantom? This is how you do it. Alright, let's see how long this takes. Whew. So, what I recommend you do is you just start gathering while doing this. So, end, hit the ability, go to gather, choose what you need. Now, I opened my wallet up. You don't have to do it this way. In fact, I'm going to just show it for free-to-play purposes. I'm just using this to see what I'm missing. Okay, I'm missing these guys. I'm missing a little bit of this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get pomegranates. So we're going to Winter Hill. We're going to hit pomegranate. And I'll go move us there. And in the meantime, and we're about to get pomegranates pretty soon. Right. So then we go here. Go ahead and start picking. And then we just go back here. Let's just do this for a little bit and then we can talk a bit more about gathering. So here we go. Next floor, terrible luck. Next floor, terrible luck. Next floor, oh! And we made it. So we've established a new floor. But with terrible luck for the new floor, so we're gonna reset it. Great luck, and terrible. Okay, so then you keep doing this for the first few levels, and you're gonna do this till you pass the dice stage. I'm gonna keep working through the dice stage. The die stage is the very last thing that you want to work on. Actually, you don't want to touch the die stage. Okay, here we go. Nope. Nope. Unlucky. 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 Okay. I guess lucky in another sense. I don't even have to click. Okay. And here we go. Okay, now we can move on. Now, the best thing that you can do. So each stage, each floor has new variations. So you have a bomb here and an eyeball somewhere else. Every floor will have its own variation. So what I usually recommend you do is you're not actually playing this level. You're just exploring. What's have to offer? Oh, we got 2. You're going to reset this, all right? Okay, cool. So we got 2 bombs and an exit. So what I just did right now was perfect. I hit the morale. Actually, what's really perfect is if you just hit the bomb and you get the greens showed up right away. That is the best situation. Use the least amount of stimulants, get the most amount of stats. So in this floor, in particular, you want to actually spam this. Perfect. That's ideal, right? I got lucky. You probably won't get that lucky. You hit the bomb, you hit the bomb. You get all the bombs just for 1 stimulant. You get tons of stats, and you can move on. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now, same rule applies, right? Maybe there's a bomb here. You check it out. Alright, I got lucky and I wasted my luck. Let's see if I wasted my luck. Okay, I did not. There's 2 bombs in this floor. You want to pop them both with only 1 stimulant. So you go back up, hit this. Terrible. Now, you can do it the way I'm about to, where you get the small off chance that the bomb spawns here, or you go hit, shoot your luck. Okay, bad luck. Okay, and now it's okay to do morale, it's okay to do wisdom. I'd argue if you don't care, you can do stamina, but you never, as a, say, healer or a mage, you don't ever want to do strength or agility, because the physical attack is not worth your money. Alright. That's great, but no bombs? Okay. So, it's this point where I cheated a bit. I used 1 extra stimulant than I needed to. Now the question is, how much time are you willing to input to move forward with this? So I can keep going. I think I'm going to go reset this, but that's for later me. Now, I'm going to make a separate sort of document to like, and maybe link that as a PDF, I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and make this video, and I'm going to go ahead and show you my personal floor explorations so that you don't have to click through everything when you're lucky. You just know what to aim for right away. Sometimes you get these eyes that you see the whole screen. Those ones you always want to hit first. Always hit those first, and they're for 2 reasons. One is that you want to get the bombs right away. You get the full stats. So when you hit a bomb, here, let's go ahead and show what I mean by when you hit a bomb. So I'm trying to look for a bomb right now. Okay, I found one. It took me a stimulant to actually get to this point right here. Oh, what's up, Abby? I'm making a video right now, Abby. You're gonna be mentioned in this video, and I'm actually gonna post this on YouTube for other people in the night order to really understand what's going on here. It's more for me than anything else. I just want this as kind of like catalog. Glad you're here though. Yeah. So it takes an extra point to get to this point, and that's wasted. What if you had the bomb right away? Well, then it only takes you then, you get all 9 without wasting an extra stimulant. So that's kind of the idea. All right, let's talk about gathering real quick before I end the stream. Final thing. So, okay, let's go somewhere to gather. Depleted. There's probably another one up here. Oh, they're all depleted. That's sad. Okay, well, instead of looking at for it manually, you hit gather, Winter Hill, scroll down, pop, done. It'll do it for you. Oh yeah. Okay, so if you go into your, so you get these skills and they're nice. Something to note is that for your premium, everybody gets 40 minutes max a day at least. So you want to use that up and never go over your cap. The reason why is that when you make a certain thing here, there's these things called ability material. I think they're called ability. I think they're all ability material. Okay, well these things let you make wonders. So you have one for every class, and you get dust to help you make them. You can only get them from these premium times. So you always want to use your premium. Don't waste it. Always use it. If you go over the cap, you're wasting the amount of dust you can get. The other thing that you want to do is that since you really are using premium time here, you have to make the most out of it. So what you do is you go to your product bag, and you actually want to use the most ideal situation. Let's say this one. Okay, you want to use luck. The more luck you get, the rarer materials you get. So the dust, the crystals that you make for more advanced products that you get later on. So anything down here, they use these essences, they use these dust. So you want to make the most out of it. You only get 40 minutes a day, and you want to use those 40 minutes. And you want to use it in the most effective way possible. So that's kind of the TLDR of what you do there. And then you can go ahead and siphon that to your chef in the night order, and they'll make you the beautiful magic candy land items you get. These drop really nice items. I'm sure you already know of them already. They give you the fish jelly, and we all know that the fish jelly is nice. This is nice. This is really important. Get this if you really need the cards. But what's really nice is this, because this does not ever go away. You keep it. And yeah, that is it for my newbie tips. I'm glad. I'm going to go ahead and make this into a video. I'm going to go ahead and get this from Twitch. I'm going to move it to a YouTube video. I'm going to go ahead and pop it into different segments, maybe do some video editing. But this is for everyone in the Boba Club Night Order, and for anybody else who watches this. Thank you very much for listening to my TED Talk. Bye.